England are going into a World Cup final with a death bowler who was totally not a death bowler before. Sam Curran seemed to turn up as a power play guy, and then suddenly England thrust him into a new role, and he's been absolutely nailing it. The last time England made a T20 World Cup final, they also had a death bowler who was pretty much given that job as the tournament began. That did not go particularly well. They thought Ben Stokes' natural talent and calmness under pressure would see him through, but it was clear that Stokes had no real plan at the death. In fact, in early matches it seemed he was just trying to be as random as possible, which I suppose is a plan of sorts. It did make him hard to line up, but in the final he went away from that, and he tried to nail a bunch of Yorkers. In fact, I'm not really even sure what this first ball is. Was he trying to go into the wicket and then got it too full? I mean, it's a length ball angled at the body. We're going to have to disregard that one. But the others were supposed to be Yorkers, and remember that while this was still earlyish in T20, there was a few other options available. But Stokes was worried that the offside was a closer boundary, and so he didn't want to go wide. They had seen Brathwaite pull well, and they didn't want him to get under the ball, so they decided not to go short. And I don't really know why a slower ball wasn't trusted, except for the fact that back then Stokes didn't really have a great one. If you look at his T20 bowling record, you see he just didn't have much experience at all. He'd played 65 matches at that point, but only bowled in 2/3 of them. He was averaging 11 balls a match, a real part-timer's load. The sixth bowler. Before 2016, he'd only bowled 20 overs in a year once. While you may have talent, what you probably don't have is any kind of role definition. As far as death bowling goes, Stokes had only bowled just under 200 balls in his career coming into that game. And in those, he'd gone an over 9 runs and over and taken only 3 wickets. He was no one's idea of a death bowler. The year before he bowled for England there, he delivered 12 balls in total at the death. And so while he could have bowled better, and Owen Morgan should have helped him more, and Carlos Brathwaite was clearly guessing exactly what they were going to do, Stokes was really thrown in. And it cost England a World Cup. Well, this time England have done it again. And it's another all-rounder who's not bowled a lot at the death, Sam Curran. But if Stokes' method can be called anything, I'm assuming it would be something like Chaos Death Attack, which was also the name of my second heavy metal band. Then Sam Curran is a lot more planned. If I had told you Sam Curran had changed his length profile, well, you'd probably look at me weird. But each bowler has a profile of how often they use each part of the pitch. There can be a slight variation from year to year. The balls might swing more one year, or you might play on a bunch of surfaces where you have to change things. That's not what's happened with Sam Curran this year. He's made a conscious effort to change where he lands the ball on the pitch. And that medium-fast southpaw swinger has suddenly become a toes and teeth bowler. Look at all the full tosses and Yorkers he's bowled this year. You would expect that from Mitchell Starc, not Junior Curran. This kind of change is not pitch dependent, so clearly he's changed his method for other reasons. And part of that is because he is bowling a lot more at the death, where he has been pretty much hidden from most of his career. I noticed all this when the TV showed this image, and it's just not what you expect to see from this Curran. And I noticed something else. He seemed very straight to me. You could see that he's never bowled the wide Yorkers much, but even now he's delivering them half as much. But his biggest drop has been from the balls in the corridor outside off. And those deliveries have been split between bowling more at the stumps and even this leg stumpish line. So he bowls straighter, fuller and shorter than ever before. And a lot of that is just coming because of how much he's bowled at the death. When you look at it, Curran has been bowling at the death in this tournament like he has never done before. He's delivered more at the end in this World Cup than he ever has at any other period of his career. Essentially, England has flipped his normal bowling pattern. Traditionally, he's bowled 45% of his overs in the power play, and then just under a third in the middle, with a quarter at the death. Now it's almost 50% at the death, with even splits in the other parts of the game. England have inverted Sam Curran. It's obviously still incredibly small sample size, but there aren't that many bowlers who've actually delivered 42 balls in the last 6 overs of a match at this World Cup. But who would have assumed that Sam Curran would be doing so well on this, or literally on it at all? And just to go slightly deeper than data, I wanted to show you some things. Whereas before, when he was bowling on the length, it was often to swing the ball. Now when he does that, it's for his slower balls. You can see that he has good revs, and this appears to actually deviate just a little bit, which is helpful as his cutters will go away from right-handers. But he's also bowling a lot of accurate back of the length at the body, using his left arm angle to stop players from getting a good swing at the ball, and his accuracy means he doesn't often get it wrong. And then this is him going full. You can see that he's unafraid of over-pitching at times. It's full, it's straight. Very old school you miss, I hit. During that 2016 World Cup, when I was working for Cricinfo, I was talking quite a bit about how Stokes' death bowling seemed almost like a gamble. But that its chaotic nature was working for a little while. Until it didn't. Curran is more experienced at the death than Stokes, but he was certainly not a death bowler before this. And now he is, and he has a very clear plan. It is worth remembering that against India, Hardik still got hold of Curran though. 31 runs in 2 overs. And it didn't matter because of how far India were behind in the game at that point. And all death bowlers do get met sometimes. But it does mean England is entering their second straight T20 World Cup final with a makeshift death bowler. Curran has taken to the death in a way that Stokes never did. He has a very clear plan, and he's extremely meticulous. But the thing about plans at the death is, sometimes they get exploded.